हरे कृष्णा। ओम अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सुवयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। मैं घोर अज्ञान के अंधकार में उत्पन्न हुआ था और मेरे गुरु ने अपने ज्ञान रूपी प्रकाश से मेरी आंखें खोल दी। मैं उन गुरु को सादर दंडवत प्रणाम करती हूँ। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णवों की जय। हरे कृष्णा। In the previous verse we saw that Bhishma Pitamaha blew his conch shell, which was like the roaring of a lion, and it was to give happiness to Duryodhan, who was so depressed after seeing the army in the side of the Pandavas. Now here in verse 13, let's see what's happening. Tatah shankhaschcha bheryascha parvanak gomukhaah सहसैवाभ्य हन्यन्त सशब्दस्तुमुलो अभवत्। ततः शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च पर्वानक गोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्य हन्यन्त सशब्दस्तुमुलो अभवत्. It means that tatah, thereafter. Thereafter what? After the conch shell of Bhishma Pitamaha, all the warriors in the side of the Kauravas blew their conch shells, bugles, trumpets and drums. We all know that music has a very important role in elevating our mood. So now all the warriors in the Kaurav side are very much energetic and eager to fight after hearing the loud conch shell of Bhishma Pitamaha, which is like the declaration of the war. We all know that Kshatriyas wait for an opportunity to fight, and now the time has come for fighting. So all the warriors with the loud sound of drums, trumpets, conch shells, bugles, they have given a signal that they are all ready to fight. Srila Prabhupada says that in Vedic culture, war is also like a festival with loud music and great personalities in the battle, those who are present. So it actually looks like a festival. Now, when I'm saying this, actually the entire Mahabharata is in front of my eyes, like the camera is rolling. First the camera was on Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. Then after Dhritarashtra and Sanjay, the camera is on Duryodhan and Dronacharya. And now when Bhishma Pitamaha, he blew his conch shell, so the camera focused on him. Now let us see where the camera is taking us and what it is showing us. Now let us take the verse number 14. Tatah shveterhairyukte mahati syandane sthitau madhavah pandavaschaiva divyo shankau pradatmatuh. Tatah shveterhairyukte mahati syandane sthitau madhavah पांडवश्चैव दिव्यो शंखो प्रदत्मतुः. Mahati Syandane means great chariot, and Shveter Hate Yukte means the chariot drawn by white horses. Now let us understand from where this chariot has come and who has given this chariot. So there's a story that once fire god wanted to burn Khandav forest. So he poured fire on Khandav forest, and Takshak, who used to reside in the Khandav forest, was the friend of Indra. When Indra saw fire god pouring fire, so he started pouring rain to give protection to Takshak. Now, fire god couldn't burn the forest, so he went for help to Brahmaji, to whom all the demigods and goddesses approach at any kind of problem. Brahmaji advised him to go and seek the help from Krishna and Arjun. Fire god came to Krishna and Arjun, who agreed to help him but wanted weapons. Then, along with the fire weapons, fire god gave Arjuna his chariot, which was drawn by white horses. And Srila Prabhupada explains that this chariot could not be defeated by anyone in the three worlds. Now Krishna and Arjun are seated on this chariot. Sthito Madhava Pandav. So when Krishna and Arjun both are seated, so that means victory is definitely in the side of Pandavas, and there is no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna is in the side of the Pandavas. Srila Prabhupada says, Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardhan. Janardhan is Krishna, and Prabhupada says, victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them, and Krishna is always in the side of Dharma. On the chariot, which is drawn by the white horses, is seated Madhav and Pandav. Now it's very interesting that in this verse, Krishna is addressed as Madhav. So let's come to know, why is he addressed as Madhav and not Govinda, not Madhusudan, not Rishikesh? Srila Prabhupada explains to us that Madhav is the husband of Madhavi. And who is Madhavi? Madhavi is the goddess of fortune, which means she is Lakshmi, and she never lives without her husband. So when Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, he is seated in the chariot with his dearmost friend Arjun. So goddess of fortune, that is Lakshmi, is also present in the same chariot. And Prabhupada says that people run after Lakshmi to accumulate money, but they do not know that if they invite Krishna and worship Krishna, then goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi, will automatically come. So in this verse, we have come to know that victory and fortune both are in the side of the Pandavas, and there is no hope for anyone else to be victorious other than the Pandavas. Now in the second line of this verse, it says that Madhav and Arjun both blew their Divya Shankh, which means transcendental conch shells. Transcendental means beyond the reach of human beings, or we can say it is spiritual. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna's everything is transcendental. His name, qualities, pastimes, everything is spiritual. When Bhishma Pitamaha blew his conch shell, it was not called transcendental, but Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shell is said to be transcendental. Prabhupada explains that Krishna killed Putana, and only when his age was 6 days old. Then he danced on the Kaliya Nag. Then he lifted Govardhan mountain at the age of 6, and he killed Kans at the age of 8. So Krishna's every name and pastimes are spiritual. And when Krishna is present with Arjun, then there is no hope for anyone else to win. This is the significance, this is the importance of Krishna's conch shell. Like in the last shlok, we came to know that when Bhishma Pitamaha, he blew his conch shell. One reason was to give happiness to Duryodhana, who was so depressed. And the second reason was this, that when he saw Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, he blew his conch shell. Conch shell meaning when we do arti, then we blow the conch shell. So he was doing the arti of Sri Krishna, who was in the side of the Pandavas. And in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 18, the last chapter, Sanjay has said this shlok. This is the last shlok of Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharah, Tatra Shri Vijayo, Bhutir Dhruva, Nitir Mati Mam. Nitir Matir Mam, which means that wherever Yogeshwar Krishna and Parth are present, victory is bound to happen there. Now Srila Prabhupada has given us the clue. He has given us a secret to be victorious and wealthy. And it can be achieved by inviting and worshipping Sri Krishna in our life with love. We all know that Arjun only wanted Sri Krishna and Duryodhan wanted the army of Sri Krishna. So now it's up to us what we want in our life. If we want to be victorious and wealthy like the Pandavas. Now in the next verse, we will get to know the names of the conch shells blown by the famous personalities in the side of the Pandavas. And now the real hero of Mahabharata, which is Sri Krishna along with his friend. Now they are going to enter together and it's going to be very, very interesting. And I'm sure you are also enjoying a lot listening to the Bhagavad Gita shloks. Hare Krishna. I bow down to Srila Prabhupada for giving us the most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in such an interesting and understandable manner. I thank all my listeners who take out time to listen to the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. I request everyone to please write the comments as it encourages me and enhances the understanding of others. Please do write your comments, and in case you have any questions, please do write. I will surely try to answer them. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Please do not forget to subscribe, like and share with others. Hare Krishna.